What's the purpose of the call today then, James? How can I help you,
Yeah,
my friend?
yeah. So basically, what it is, I've like researching to an extent regarding this rent to service accommodation.
Yep.
Um, and with myself, if I ever book somewhere, which I do quite regular, I always use Airbnb or Booking.com.
Yeah, same.
And and as you're now noticing a lot more on there, it's a lot of privately like properties rather than hotels and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was probably about a year ago that it probably first I took notice of it, but then slowly but surely I'm seeing more and more and more of it. But
Mhm.
I'm not a social media person or anything like that, so like it's difficult for me to see how a thing is. But I recently just set one up and I'm actually going on there, and it's actually seems like something that's booming.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's a
so
big
it's something
market.
that yeah, so it's something that I would like to know a little bit more about, if you know. So just
Of course, of course. That's what I'm here for, mate. That's what the call's
oh,
for. Just tell me little bit more about yourself, like where you're at right now, what you're doing for work and things like that.
no, so at the minute, mate, I'll be straight with you. I ain't even doing nothing for work. So I'm
That's all
literally
right.
just, I wouldn't tell a lie. I trade a few cars. So I sell cars to car dealers
Right.
and then they sell them on to the public. So like
So
I do
you
a few of them, but it's not really a job, but it is because I get paid for it and I'll get a wage out of it, but it's not working. Do you know what I mean? So I've got nothing really to get my teeth stuck into at the minute. By trade, I'm a gas engineer, but I haven't
right.
done that for a few years. I've
Yeah,
just been like just popping in and out of things for a few years, really. Not really had no, so to speak, so like say a purpose. I've just
that's
been
fine.
a little bit of off road here and there, you know. So
Listen, that's where I was 7 years ago. You know,
yeah,
we've all been there,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
trying to find something that actually you can get your teeth into that you actually enjoy, you know?
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I've been there, mate. I've been there. Sounds like you've got some salesman skills then.
Well, I can bullshit people if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Well, the reason I say bring that up is because rent to rent in itself, it is quite a lot of sales if you think about like how you'd actually position your service to a landlord or an agent. It is you do have to sell yourself a little bit, and you're not selling bullshit. You are selling a good service.
Product. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
so that
sure.
makes
Yeah,
it even easier, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But ultimately, yeah, it is a lot of speaking with agents, speaking with landlords, and selling the service. That is how you get progress in rent to
yeah.
rent.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it works. You said you set one up, or you mentioned something about you started one,
No.
or
So basically, like we've been looking on there. I've looked at a few. I've had a few people send me them who are deal sourcers, basically. But then when I've looked into them,
yeah,
I've not done no AML or nothing like that. So I've not even got the company set up yet. It's literally just a social media presence. But a company, you know, as well as our, it's a same day thing to get a bank account and a
yeah,
company
yeah,
open. So
yeah, yeah,
like I understand about the companies, I understand about all things like that. I understand about SIC codes. I understand, like, I know all the ins and outs of everything, like, of the baseline of business, no problem whatsoever. So, where a lot of people probably go from a job to a business,
yeah,
they're going to probably be a little bit behind what I do know. Like, I
for
can
sure,
fly through loads of that sort of stuff. Do you know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Got you.
But where I would come unstuck, I should imagine, is locating landlords,
Hmm.
locating potential clients. Just
Hmm.
how do you go about that side of it? Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah, of
that's
course.
probably the knowledge that I'm lacking.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what a lot of people come to us with. You know, they've seen bits and bobs online. They might have spoke to someone about it, someone who's doing it, you know, but there are gaps in their knowledge. That is what a lot of people t tend to say on the calls, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and obviously we have a program that can fill all those gaps. It's just whether you're really serious about building a business or not. And like if that is your goal to build a rent to rent business, then that's something that we can definitely help you do. But
yeah,
it's just whether you know, if you feel like you're dabbling in it or you actually really want to build a business like that and you think it makes sense for you, um, then, you know, depending on where you are and what your goals are, then we can definitely get you there. It just depends how serious you are about it, you know?
yeah, yeah. Look, I'll be straight with you. Like whenever I do something, I do well with it. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, like when I says I said by a gas trade, I was a gas engineer. When I set that up, within like a year, I had 10 people work for me. I was in control of over 600 houses. Then my wife passed away.
Sorry to
And
hear that.
I was, that's fine. And then we was left with a few, like, three kids. So
Yeah,
I just walked away from all that.
yeah,
I just literally just left it all. It's
yeah.
crazy. Now I look back, I think, fucking hell, what was I doing even walking away from that? Like, I had
Well,
three people saying to me, let me continue it for you. And then,
mm,
like, just come back when you're ready. I was like, no, no, I don't want nothing to do with it. And I left that. Then I went and started buying and selling cars in a retail thing. And I started with, I think, 12 cars. Within 12 months of doing that, I had over 100 cars.
hmm.
Uh, so I started done that for a few years. Then I set up. You're gonna laugh at this one. Then I set up a COVID testing company, which was like, mate, do you know the truth? We touched it nice with that. We done well because we had like quite a few so-called celebrity friends who was on in socials and that. We basically that's how we picked up the back end of it. We got them to promote it
Got ya,
by
got
offering
ya,
them free tests,
got
and
ya.
then since then we went and lived in Dubai, and I've done a little bit of trading and that, and then we've come back. And really, since I've come back from Dubai, I've not really had no purpose, if so to speak. So
Yeah,
it's something there's something that's missing that I want to grab with both hands. And I know once I put my time and effort to it, I know how
yeah,
quick I can get somewhere quick, you know. So
yeah,
but
yeah,
that side of it, I wouldn't have a clue where to start or even how to approach someone
yeah, yeah.
and
Of
speak to them
course,
about that.
of course, of course. No, it sounds like you've definitely got like some skills there that could be transferred
Yeah,
into rent to rent. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it sounds like you definitely would get your teeth into it and get stuck in, and that's what we're looking for. We need people that are at that stage, like that you're at, basically, because we've had people come on in the past and they buy the course or the program and they don't end up taking it as serious as I would like them to take it or
yeah,
putting in the work that I've put in, and then they expect to get the same results, and that just isn't going to happen. So I'm not going to bullshit you and pretend that it's going to be like a get rich quick scheme that you're going to be making £100,000 in 6 months' time. Because
yeah,
realistically,
yeah,
you've got to build a business out. You're going to have to get told no a lot. You're going to get told, we don't do that. We don't offer that service, and move on. Basically, there's going to be a lot of that,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rejection. But like anything, you kiss a few frogs, and you find that one,
Yeah, for
and,
sure. Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah, of
that's
course.
that's how it's been for us. When we find those landlords that are in that bit of a pickle, they're in that situation where they're in their 50s, 60s, they've got to a stage where they don't really want to manage their HMOs themselves anymore. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And they need someone with a bit more energy, a bit more savvy, I guess, to do that side of things for them. And 9 times out of 10, they've normally paid off their mortgage or there's not much left on it. And they're at a place in their life where they've probably got a portfolio of 3 or 4 or 5 properties, and they just want someone to come in and free up their time, basically. And they're willing to give up a portion of the income for that.
yeah. So basically, what do you do then? Do you manage people's properties for them and sublet it on their behalf, or do you,
Yeah, we've got a few
if you
different.
don't mind? Yeah,
No, I don't mind going into it. So we've got a
yeah.
few different ways of going about it, but our best deals are where we've guaranteed a fixed rent. So like,
Gotcha.
say for example, like one of our better deals, like a 10-bedroom HMO, which is all like separate flats.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
know HMOs and that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so that landlord had 5 empty rooms when we first spoke to him. He's got 4 or 5 more a mile away that are in a better position, right next to the hospital. Really easy for him to find tenants. This one, it's under a bridge. It's a little bit more of a seedy area. He was having a bit
yeah,
of crime and antisocial behavior. He had DSS tenants in there, and I wrote to him, which is one of the methods that we use to try and attract these people. I wrote to him. He phoned me up. We had a good chat, and we decided to basically give the whole place a bit of an uplift. um, he spent some money on it. We spent a bit of money mainly on like painting, decorating. He done like got some plastering done, put some en suites in the rooms,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
proved it. We done the finishing touches, furnished it, marketed it. And then we attracted like more professional tenants, like working
yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah,
like nurses, doctors, those types of people. And for that place, we locked in like around £2,000 guaranteed rent to him for the 5 years. So that's two thousand
yeah.
pound a month. And then now we get around £5,000 per month for that same property. And we pay him the 2 grand. We pay around £1,000 for like the gas, electric,
Utilities. Yeah,
Wi-Fi
yeah,
and stuff. A little bit of money on like extra commercial bins and things like that, because it's quite a
yeah,
big
yeah,
building.
yeah.
And then what's left over is around 1,800, 2 grand a month profit from
Nice.
from
Yeah,
that deal. So front end, a lot of work, invested around 6 grand. back end, I'm sitting at home and that money comes in pretty much every month,
No
so
stress. Yeah.
yeah. So
Do you do
that's
them to housing? Do you do them to housing associations and things like that, and
um
councils, or are they
I, I
private?
I don't. I just do them. I literally rent them to like individual. Either we'll find like a group. So we've got another four houses down the road from there that are rented to like shipping engineers that all work on the docks in Newport,
Gotcha.
which is in
Yeah,
Wales. So they
yeah,
rent all of those houses as a group. Um, or we'll rent to just individuals like I said, people that are working,
yeah. Professional
doctors,
basis. Yeah,
nurses. Yeah, yeah. We do have some people do like to try and go down that social housing route where they'll try and find like a longer term social housing
yeah, yeah.
provider and that. But in my experience, that they're normally like the competition for me. Like I'll offer a landlord £1,200 a month for a 5 bed, and then he'll tell me I've just had such and such social housing company on the phone and they're offering me 1250 or 1100 or something like that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're in the game as well, guaranteeing the rent and then renting it to like underprivileged people, basically. Sometimes people that have just come out of jail, sometimes families that are just like
yeah,
moved over
yeah.
here and stuff. So they're doing it as well. There is competition, but I feel that with this service, where you're putting in like a higher quality of tenant, I think the landlords prefer that, and it makes them feel a bit more comfortable with going
Well,
with
their
it.
house is going to get looked after more, isn't it?
That's it. That's it, mate. Yeah, for sure. So that's
So
basically how it
basically,
works.
touching on what you're saying there, like my friend, he had in total he had 38 bedrooms in
Yeah,
Clacton on Sea.
yeah,
So basically, he had a load of smackheads and that in them.
yeah,
Sorry, he bought them as an ongoing concern. Had a
yeah,
load of smackheads in them.
yeah,
Slowly but surely got them out of each one. Bought a cheaper one and put them in that,
yeah,
and then basically refurbed the other one. And then he was one of the first people about anywhere in Clacton to get £100 a week per room.
yeah. There you
Right,
go.
and then, but he did like what you said. He tightened them up a bit, put a little shower room and a little bathroom
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like a toilet and a basin in the room.
yeah,
A lot of the regs have changed since then. Though I think they've got to be a little bit bigger, haven't they? And the doors have got to
yeah,
be a bit
yeah.
different. Like
The HMO regulations have definitely become a bit more stringent, but I think when you find those landlords that are in a bit of a situation, once they know you're going to start paying them, like going back to the 10 bed example, we
yeah,
started paying for the empty rooms that he had because they're all separate units. None of the tenants had to mix at all. There's no living room or nothing like that. So we started paying for the rooms that are empty. And then that gave him that sort of, okay, I've got a bit of income coming in from them that wasn't paying me previously. So then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he was more happy to put a bit more into the house himself and then pay for the en suites because he knew we were going to pay him for the next 5 years. So
yeah.
it's
Of course.
like a bit of chicken and egg scenario going on, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
it's
course.
that's what the negotiation's there for. And I
Well, I
think,
suppose if you work with a landlord and you're going to improve their property, and you know that they're going to be, if they do eventually have to sell it, it's going to be
yeah,
in tip-top condition. It's better than what they
yeah,
went in there with. They're going to be
yeah.
thinking, and it's a win-win for them all around, isn't it?
Course it is. Course it is. And we're probably in best position to buy those same sort of houses off those landlords because the first person they're going to call when they want to sell is probably going to be us anyway because
Yeah,
they got a bit
because
of an emotional
yeah,
attachment
of
to it. Do you know what I
course,
mean?
yeah, yeah. And what about, like, say, for instance, see, I'll be honest with you, I've never really looked or got in, I say got into, but I've never focused and looked so far in the ones that I've been looking at in
Yeah,
HMOs. I'll be
yeah,
100% honest with you.
yeah,
I've just been looking at like apartments and like 3 bed houses.
yeah, yeah.
They're the only ones that I've looked at and just, I've done a bit on Airbnb. Is it the other
Yeah.
one, Vero? Vero, is it Vero?
VRBO.
Yeah, Varbo, yeah, and
Yeah,
then I've been booking. So I'll just flick between them three
yeah,
when I look, and then I'll see certain areas, and then I'll just see roughly what they're making in that area, and then
yeah, yeah,
that's how I've done it so far by just
yeah.
having a little scout
That's
about.
that's 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 still a good way to do it. That's another strategy that we do teach in the program as well. Is serviced accommodation model. I just feel like that's become a little bit more saturated over the last couple of years. It was booming around COVID time, but
Yeah,
even like my own houses, I used to have them all as Airbnbs, but over the last year or so, I've put like medium term, longer term tenants in there,
yeah.
just because it was getting a bit unpredictable. Like it was going up, it was going down. Because everyone's now doing it, there's a lot more option for people to choose from. So there tends to be a bit more saturation in that side of the market, in my experience. But
Okay, yeah,
we've also got some students that are flying from doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they've got 5 bed HMOs in Birmingham, one lad in particular, and he's only ever rented them on booking.com. He's never done like per room or renting them to contractors like I do. He just literally puts them on Airbnb and he's getting like £1,800 per month profit per house.
Wow,
Just
yeah,
because he's getting like a big 5 bed house and renting it out by the night, basically.
You only need really 5 properties, and you can actually change your income, can't you? Like you can
Yeah.
literally, you can just like have a lot more of a relaxed lifestyle.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, some people even two or three. You know,
Yeah, of
there's people that
course.
come to us. They're getting.
I need at least 5. I'm gonna be honest with you. 2 or 3 ain't gonna cut it with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we got people with five. We've got people with 10. You know, we got people that are doing 15 grand a month profit. We got people that are doing 2 grand a month profit. It just depends where you're at and what your appetite for it is. But most people come to us because they're not enjoying their job. They're making 2.5 grand, 2 grand a month. They're working 40 hours a week, and they just want to build a business that is their own and allows them to leave their job and work 2 hours a day rather than 8 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? That's like the base level of person that comes to us. And then we get other people who are a bit more ambitious, like yourself, it sounds like.
Yeah,
And they go on to make, you know, we've got some lads doing 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand months, you know, it just depends how far you want to take it, you know.
yeah. What about with company lets? Like, so for instance, you set up a new company and you're established today, and then you're approaching landlords tomorrow, and they
Yeah.
go, "How long have you been established?" "Oh, since yesterday." How does it go about like? Where's their security in like when they go, well, hang on a minute, why do you know you're going to be successful? This, how do I know my rent's going to be
Yeah,
paid?
yeah.
How
Well,
does that work?
that's all part of the game, isn't it? It's like everyone starts somewhere. When I first started,
Yeah,
I didn't have any experience. I didn't have any years of accounts or anything like that.
okay.
You're winging it to a certain extent, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
ultimately you're marketing to these people, and then I've never done a deal necessarily only over the phone. I've had to then go and meet the landlord, have a coffee with them, go through things with them. So it's a personal thing with business, isn't it? It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can have the best logo, the best website, all that stuff, but ultimately, if they like you, then they're gonna want to work with you. If they can see
yeah,
that
for
you're a
sure.
trustworthy person, and they feel that you can genuinely help them, then they're gonna go with you over like a estate agent who's got 200 properties and they're
Yeah, of
not really going to
course.
be a priority for them. I think the
Yeah, you
main
want that personal touch, think you, with
want the
somebody.
personal
I'll
touch.
find that's me personally. I think that anyway. It's like
Yeah, no,
I
that's
would want a personal relationship rather than a corporate one where you have to ring someone and then they ring someone and then they'll get back to you. You want to be
exactly.
on the end of the phone to someone, in my
Exactly.
eyes.
Exactly. That's the selling point. You know, they can all contact me on WhatsApp if they need me. Like,
Yeah,
they're not one of 200. They're like one of 20, one of 10, you know, with our
yeah, yeah.
clients and that. So they feel a lot more special. It's more of a bespoke service, you know. So that's
Okay.
how you position it to them. And yeah, there might be a couple times where you've got to go and meet them before you close a deal, but ultimately,
Yeah,
you know, once you get the deal closed and you show them how you work and you get that first guaranteed rent payment paid, then the trust just starts to build from there. And obviously, once you've got the first one, then that gives you proof of concept. You can go and show like a different landlord, look, give one of my clients a call, ask him how our service is.
yeah, yeah.
Come and have a look at this one, see what the work we're doing. You know, it becomes a lot easier once you get that first one, you know.
Okay. Do you promote like to sell your deals, or do you just promote to find them and then take them all yourself?
Well, I take them on myself most of the time, but in the program we've got a group chat, like a WhatsApp group where we've got 36 other rent-to-renters that I've all trained up and they're all doing amazing things. And sometimes they trade deals. So like we've just had
Yeah, yeah,
one lad in Croydon who he had a deal not far from where I am actually in Crystal Palace.
yeah,
And he was based in Hartford, so he was
yeah,
finding it hard to manage it because it was like the logistics of it were a bit difficult for him.
yeah.
So he sold it to another lad who's based just in Lewisham down the road, for a couple grand. He sold it to him, and now he runs that one. So there are opportunities like that where it might not be working for one person, but someone else might be perfect for them. And then in the group, they all have a chat, and then they end up doing a bit of business together like that. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah,
that's what we're trying to sort of that's what the community's for, really. There is opportunities to trade deals and buy deals in there, but I just like to teach people how to find their own fish first, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
if they
course.
do end up getting a deal from someone, then at least they know what they're doing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. See, like me, but when I've spoke to people, they go, "Oh, where do you want to go?" I said, "It doesn't matter to me. If the deal's right and the figures stack up, I'll go anywhere in the country.
Yeah, yeah,
I would have one. I wouldn't have one in a specific area. I would have them like because see me, as I say, I trade cars. For me to go and jump on a train in the morning up to Newcastle,
yeah,
it's 4 hours. It
yeah,
don't
yeah,
bother me. Like I could if I had to go to a certain area, I'd buy a car in that area, then
Yeah,
drive to the
yeah,
property, and then drive. So it's a bit of traveling and like logistics is not an issue for me, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That's good to know. That's good to know because
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
type of attitude you need to have. Like
yeah.
a lot of people just want it to fall on their lap, and it just doesn't always go like that. Like
No, 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 no.
all of mine are 150 miles away in Wales.
Yeah. See,
Obviously,
I'll be honest with you. My area that I would like to probably hit would probably be South Wales
yeah,
and the Northeast.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, so that they're the two areas that I've actually looked at, and I thought, oh yeah, they're
Best
the two that I
margins.
was. Yeah, that's what I look at
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
aspect. You know.
yeah. Well, there's so much opportunity in both of those areas, you know, and I can't take them all, you know, and
Yeah, cool.
there's loads for everyone else. So I think those areas where that you got the prices are a little bit cheaper than London, but then ultimately the mortgages are less for the landlord, so you've got a bit more wiggle room with like the
Yeah,
negotiation side of things, but then the rents are really high in them areas. So
yeah,
when you do it up and then you rent it out by the room, you know, you're getting 500, 550, 600 for an ensuite room in some areas. And there's this a huge margin there. Whereas in London, because the mortgages are so high, the landlord's like, oh,
yeah,
what, 2.5 grand, 3 grand for the property. And it's like, you're putting
yeah.
yourself at a bit of a risk where it's like, oh, like if I have a quiet month, fucking hell, I'm in it here. Do you know what I
I
mean?
know, I
You
know,
got to have a
mate. Do you
bit,
know? I'll be straight with you. See me, anything like that side of Brentwood.
yeah,
Like, and I say that side going into London, I can't stand. It's mad. Like, I'll just try and stay on the M25 and go that
yeah,
way. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't have to go anywhere towards that. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what it is. I just say to people, you would not catch me in any of them areas no more. I've done
Nah,
it. I've lived down there. I've been there for years.
yeah,
Now I'm up by Chelmsford, so it's a little bit different, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what I would do. They're the two probably areas that I would like to like get go into in the
Yeah,
start off with
yeah,
things, you
yeah.
know.
Makes sense. I mean, we've got some lads in Grays that are flying. Some of those lads that are doing like 10K, 15K months, they're over in like Grays and they're renting like old sort of tired HMOs, blocks of flats. And there's landlords there who just need their help, you know, and then the margin for those lads is pretty high, you know. So
Yeah.
there's opportunity everywhere, mate. It just depends where you stick your flag down and get going, you know.
Yeah, of course. As I say, I'm open to starting anywhere. But what I would probably try and do if I would probably try and get wherever I got my first one, then I would focus on getting one or two more in that area. Then I would
Yeah.
like try and go on to a different area. Do you know
That's
what
the
I mean?
best way. That's the best way to do
Yeah,
it because when you have one, sometimes it can be a little bit of a nightmare. Like in terms of like if you've got to get a cleaner or things like that or a handyman there,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not enough work to really motivate anyone to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas
But
when you
if
got
you've
two
got
or
like
three,
three, you go, I've got three buildings there. Would you just take control of them for me? If I
there you
call you,
go.
just within 24 hours, I need you there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Same as when
Exactly.
I used to have the maintenance company. I
Yeah.
used to go, if I can't get there today, I guarantee you I'll be there tomorrow. So
Yeah.
then you've
Exactly.
got a relationship again, and it's
Exactly.
building them things with it.
Exactly, mate.
Okay, cool. All right. That seems like that's answered quite a few things, to be fair. What about LinkedIn? Do you network via LinkedIn or not really?
I haven't really, but we are looking at using that in the future to try and get landlords. At the moment, we use Facebook more to like infiltrate some of those community HMO groups. You know, you'll get landlords in there moaning about bad tenants or bad estate agent services, and that's like an opportunity in my eyes to leave a little link to your website, you know, and try and get them on the phone again, basically, and offer your services that way. So LinkedIn is definitely
Yes.
something we're looking into in the future for sure.
See, like with what I've found though, see some of these people that put these HMOs on,
Yeah,
they're not fucking, their money that they're asking from is madness. Like, I'm
yeah,
thinking, where would you earn out of it? Like, the
yeah.
figures don't stack up. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
because sometimes they've already like they've got too far along the journey. Like you want to catch them. That's why the letters and things like that are best because you're getting them
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right to the source. If they've already got someone who's marketing it for them on LinkedIn, they've already put a drink on normally, you know. I mean, in the beginning, I used to go to landlords who'd have like a 4 bed house, and I'd sort of try and get them to turn it into an
Coach them
HMO.
into an HMO. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of
but all I
course.
found was that it was obviously that a lot of time can get wasted doing that. And then obviously when I found that there's a license register with everyone on there, I just thought it's quicker for
That's
me
the
to
easy
just go
route.
and
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if I had more time and I weren't in such a rush to try and get some money coming in, then that's definitely something I would pursue more, you know, warming them up to the idea. Why don't you go and get an
Of
HMO
course.
license? Why don't you put in planning for it? And then it's like you've taken them all the way along the journey then. So then
Yeah,
when it comes to them actually wanting a letting agent to find the tenants, obviously you're the first person they're going to think of because you've actually showed them how to make more money from
yeah.
the house, you know? So there
It's
is that
mad
option there as
because
well.
what you've just said there, you know, like I'm kicking myself because, as I say, where I had them like 600 hours, 600 properties I used to look after, 450 of them was residential.
Yeah,
So I could have, and out of them, probably 150 was private landlords that I actually dealt with on a daily basis.
yeah,
You could have all their numbers, but it was only 2 weeks ago that I was literally ringing up the place where I'd done my gas course, and I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, "Oh, I want to come and do it." I said, "They like, how are you, James? You're right." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I want to come and do it." They said, "Oh, we wondered why you ain't been in." I said, "Well, I let it lapse. Is
yeah,
there availability?" They went, "Yeah, we can get you in the week before Christmas." I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I don't want to do it this one." And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I might go and do that after Christmas, because if you start going out and doing all your landlords, your certificates, and all your things,
yeah,
you go, "Oh, like I'll be interested." You know, it's like an
yeah. Of
avenue, isn't it, to get your
course
foot
it
in the
is.
door with them.
Of course it is. You know, we've used loads of little tactics like that. I mean, we'll throw little things in to sweeten the deal sometimes. Like we've got good plumbers and tradesmen down there in Wales now. So if a landlord needs a gas certificate, we'll say, look, you know, we'll throw that in
You've
for
just
free,
got,
you
yeah,
know,
of course. Yeah,
50,
yeah, yeah.
60 quid. If you give us a good guaranteed rent price, we'll do that for you free of charge every year. Little things like that,
Yeah.
you know, it goes a long way because they just want to buy that only asset, get the money coming in and not do anything.
I just don't want to lag.
They don't want no ag. They don't want
Yeah,
any ag.
yeah.
And when they do it themselves, they get ag. If they do it with a letting agent, they're one of many and they get ag as well. So it's like you're the best service for them, really. You know, it's just
Right,
about being able to
perfect.
communicate that to them, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Because, as I say, all I would do, I'll make you laugh. I would just go and do all their gas certificates. So I would, as I say, I'll jump on a train, I'll get on a car, and when we're doing gas certificates, you only need a bag that's that big,
Yeah,
like a little rucksack, and you can go
yeah,
and with all you can literally go and I'll jump on trains. If it
yeah,
costs me money to go and get your foot in the door with these
yeah,
people,
yeah.
it's what it is, you
It's
know.
what it is. What it is. They'd love that. They'd love that. And
Yeah.
I think that type of attitude, you go very far in this game, mate. To be honest with you, but it's just whether you're ready to take the jump, you know.
I like talking with you. It's an easy flowing conversation. There's no
Yeah, for
awkwardness.
sure,
And then
for
when
sure.
you've got
Yeah,
that, you know you can get on with someone, you know?
yeah, well, I just know speaking to you, like, I know, yeah, one, I'd be a good mentor for you, but I also know that
Yeah.
you go and do the work from speaking to you. So that gives me a lot
Yeah,
more
yeah,
confidence in
100%,
thinking
mate.
you're the type of person that I want because I know I'm going to get a testimonial. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%. Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not look, I'll be straight with you. Like when I think about this, I wouldn't rest until I had between 7 and 10 properties within the first 12 months. I wouldn't
Yeah,
rest. I don't, no
yeah.
matter
Well,
what or how I would do it, I would be all at it non-stop, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, that's that type of attitude is what winners tend to think like. So
Yeah.
that's how I
All
was in
right,
the
cool.
beginning, mate. It
Yeah,
was, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna give this a go. It was like, I got to do this, make it happen one way or another. I'm too far in now. Do you know what I mean? I've been driving up and
yeah,
down to Wales every week. I've already
yeah,
spent
yeah.
money in it. I'm in the hole now. I've got to make it happen, you know?
Speaking with you today about the HMOs, I'll be honest with you, I've never looked at that. I didn't understand. I didn't even know
Yeah.
about that. You
Well,
could rent an HMO off of a private person and then
yeah.
sublet it to tenants in there. I didn't know you could do that. So probably where you're saying 1,800 quid a property, and I'm thinking 7 to 10. Quite hang on a minute, I'll have a score a month. I'm thinking, yeah, that'll do me, mate. I can just travel then. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Well, this is the game, mate. This is the game. This welcome to rent to rent. It's all possible. You just got to take the steps and get it done, mate. But it's
Yeah,
very achievable. Very, very achievable. Thousands of landlords right now all over the country looking for someone who's going to give them a bit more of a special service, you know?
yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely.
No
All
brainer,
right,
mate.
cool.
Have a think. I'll send you the email. And
Good man. Thank you very much for your time.
no worries, dude. And hopefully we'll speak soon, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. 100% we will, mate.
All right, James. Take care of yourself,
You
mate.
take care. Thanks for your time. Bye bye, mate.
Bye,
Bye
bye,
bye.
bye.
Bye.